If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to another episode of Kick to the Guy. Hey, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. I'm back, brother. How are you?
Yes, you are. How have your Hari Raya celebrations been, my friend?
I mean, it's the weirdest timing having a public holiday on a Monday. Like, people can't really hang out late, you know what I mean? People gotta go work. I mean, not me lah, but like people gotta go to work. So I think so far I only had one day to celebrate. But thanks for holding down the fort last week with Prabhu as well.
Yes, I was about to say we gotta send the thanks to our objective silverback Prabhu, who was at Clash at a Club, a hell of a review. Though there's something we wanna bring up from that episode in just a little while. But yes, please tell me more about how you've been, my friend.
Yeah, first of all, as you can see from the fairy lights over here, is Hari Raya season.
Yes.
And this is pre-recorded episode, of course. But then, bro, the nighttime recording is giving vibes, bro. Check out my lighting at the back, bro.
Yes,
finally.
It's always the best because you don't have to worry about the sun shining in, screwing up the colors and the lighting and everything. So, hey, is this going to be a permanent fixture? Is it going to be Hari Raya 365 at Foreign's place?
Yeah, man, bro. Anything for the lighting, bro. I mean, I'm like admiring. If you guys like the lighting, please send a comment. Send your boy some love because I'm proud of it, bro.
Bro, people are going to be walking by just randomly in the June and be like, hey, why is he celebrating, huh?
Voila. Those like typical indie fuckboy, always got like those like fairy lights, can bring a girl home.
Indie fuckboy, okay.
Very specific, my description, but you get what I mean.
Like, did you have a phase? Do you know someone like that? I have so many questions, but we shan't go there because we have several things to talk about. Now, we won't jump into every single match card at WrestleMania because we'll save that for next episode in our WrestleMania preview, a very special episode, okay?
Yeah.
But there are some things, and I alluded to it last week on the podcast. I recorded a little bit before we introduced Prabhu, right? I wanted to bring up the worst built match in my mind heading towards WrestleMania. And
I'm sure there's several, right?
Here's the crazy thing. I won't even consider something like AJ Styles Logan Paul because it's a new feud. It's one of those like, okay lah, they're putting it together just to pad the card out a bit and it's still a good marquee match, right? Yeah. For example, like another match like Cargill versus Naomi. It's you know what I mean? It's there for a reason. But no, there is one and now apparently two matches that have just been cringe to me anyway. And we'll get to that also.
Okay. I'm curious to hear because I believe one of the feuds has been somewhat salvaged, while another feud has really gone off the rails. My opinion.
Salvage has okay. Well, I wonder if we are even on the same train here, or are we on different lines? You're on the TEL and I'm on the Circle line. Okay, we will find out a little bit later on, right? But very quickly, I want to circle back. See why I did a circle. Back to I shook Sindiri. I'm popping myself. Okay.
It has begun.
Yes, let's go back to Clash at the Club. And something happened, right, that got a couple of people upset, and rightfully so. Now, I don't want to be the guy that gets offended on behalf of other people. I think this is not my, what was the phrase? Not my battle to fight, I suppose, in a way, right? But there was a thing that happened at Clash at the Club. It involved, was it Mighty?
Yeah, I believe it was the first match, I believe.
Yes,
where there was Mighty was part of the 6-man, right?
Correct. And the heels, I believe the heels, Bryson, CK, and Kentona, right?
Correct.
So in a heelish act, and this was before Hari Raya.
Yep,
so
during the fasting month.
Yes. They quote unquote forced Mighty to drink they pour alcohol on him. Yeah.
That's what I understand because of course we weren't there, so we don't have 100% context. But I mean let's take a step back, right? So technically I couldn't go. on that day. It was a Friday night. They're having Clash at the club. So usually I don't step into clubs on most
During
days.
right.
On most days, all the more during Ramadan, right? So
Yes, correct.
I had to give it a miss. I'm sure you also had plans, but
Mm.
so we trusted our trusty Silverback, to go in, take in all the sites, give his report, right? And then on I think a few days after the show, I started getting DMs, right?
Oh.
Because like I think Bryson posted, like a daily mail kind of mock-up template about what happened, like
It's a
like
meme thing where it's supposed to be sarcastic, right?
correct. Like you're forced to like Muslim guy forced to break fast with alcohol, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
I saw
Uh,
that.
yeah. So like me being the like I'm just generally just promoting local wrestling.
Mm.
Usually, if there's any events from the show, just post, repost, and stuff like that. So I have to kind of like put my hand up and like say like when I was reposting, I didn't really focus what was happening or exactly see what
Mm.
was written. I was just saying like, oh, this is a spot. They were doing like a bottle spot on my team. I just kind of repost without kind of like really understanding the context of what was happening.
Mhm.
But then there was a couple of people, and I won't name names, love both of them. They are all part of the community, and then they were like, man, this is not the right way to get hit, bro. This is kind of disrespectful, right?
Offensive lah in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
it's kind of offensive. And then I kind of like look back at the situation. I was like, oh, who approved this? You know what I mean? This is when I kind
Yeah.
of like took a step back. I was thinking to myself, like, who approved it? Because there's a lot of optics,
Yeah.
like
Oh, for sure.
you know what I mean? Like it's not even, and I don't think their intention was to kind of be offensive.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely think that the boys there, those involved in the match, thought this was like a very edgy angle, and it
Yeah.
was like, oh damn, this is very disrespectful to Pinty, and this is like a heel thing to do, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
But let me just kind of give you a couple of things that, uh, okay. So first of all, it's we are forbidden to drink alcohol. I mean, that's as a Muslim, whether you
Correct.
do or don't, that's up to you. But it's black and white, right? You can't drink
Yes. Yeah.
alcohol as a Muslim. Secondly, if you were to drink alcohol, you technically can't pray for 40 days. I mean, that's kind of
Mm.
something that we basically alcohol is in your system, you're impure, you can't really cleanse yourself and pray.
Yeah.
So to kind of like do the whole like pouring of alcohol to break fast, like there's a lot of very problematic things there.
Exactly.
So I'm not even like calling out anyone
Yeah.
for doing it. I'm just thinking like, oh, they should have kind of thought about it. And it's not like on a normal day, probably people will be like, oh, that's wild. But this is like specifically during Ramadan. So
Yeah.
so that's where I think a lot of people were unhappy. But then they kind of like feedback to us on our
Mm.
DMs. So I do not know whether SPW specifically directly got DMs on their own regarding
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just letting you guys know that we got. So like there were people who were unhappy with it.
Yeah.
My take on it is very simple. Like, there are wrestling angles to push storylines,
Mm-hmm.
and there are things that kind of like tread the line. Like
Yeah.
I give you a very good example, two good wrestling examples.
Mm.
Chris Jericho throwing the Brazilian flag, when they were on overseas. There was this one time they had
Yeah.
a WWE house show in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently it's illegal to disrespect the flag in Brazil
Yes.
against the law. And he
In a
actually
lot
could
of
have,
countries, actually, yes.
yeah, he could have gotten arrested, right?
Mm.
And I think the Brazilian police actually wanted to arrest him, but he had to, unless he apologized.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the second one, I believe this is way far, but this is like a reach, right?
Uh,
JBL in Germany during a house show,
did
goose
the
step,
yes, goose step, yes.
which is like complete no, right? So there
Yeah.
are just some things that I guess you can do as a heel that does not go beyond cross the line in that sense. And I believe this is a learning lesson lah on their part lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, in the history of wrestling, and we're talking about obviously the big leagues, right?
Yep.
Every time they've tried to involve religion, it leaves a sour taste. Because it's just one of those things. It's the optics, is the I feel uncomfortable about this. Like we all remember Muhammad Hassan and that whole angle, right?
Yep.
And how it was just distasteful. I'm by no means equating the two or drawing a connection and saying one is worse than the other or not. I'm just saying that anytime you try to involve something, it's very different than, let's say, wasn't it Chris Jericho who poured alcohol on
CM Punk.
CM Punk? But his straight edge lifestyle is a choice, it's a lifestyle, it's not a religion, right? So
yes, correct.
like I think that there is a line, and this sort of heat, is it worth it? I would say if there was a locker room leader, I think they would have said, no, it's not worth this moment for you to potentially get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like for us, I remember like the previous SPW show. They had the Foxalicious there.
Yeah.
And that was had I would say garnered a very interesting mix of reactions, right?
Yeah.
And even then, I was fasting, right? So this was Ramadan as well. That in my head, I'm thinking to myself like, I'm probably in the same shoes as Butcher Man. Like, I'm not gonna look at this. This is specifically for me, not my thing. But also the fact that like. This is Ramadan and I'm here. I'm here to kind of like support and watch wrestling.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to be caught watching this during this time, right?
Sure.
So there's I guess that to me is my line. Like okay, this is like okay, this is a thing that's happening in front of me, but whatever. As opposed to like, they actively using the man as an angle. Then that's like, cannot.
See, that's the difference. Once again, we always talk about how wrestling and let's say a TV show or a movie, right? Wrestling crosses that line of reality in that, you know, when you're watching a movie, it's a movie, right? And if something happens there like that, for example, if let's say there's a plot line like that, you expect the comeuppance or you expect it to drive some sort of storyline narrative. So at the end, clarity is found. The good guys win, as it were, right? In this case, it's like, it's so easy to just take it straight out of context and someone throws it to mothership or whatever, and that's it already. You just ruin your entire career for no reason. Reason for such a a silly moment like that.
Yeah.
So
I would.
My only thing is just I don't think it was worth it. That's my point. It's just not the risk was not worth the reward here.
Yeah, and I would say, and we are all fans of and supporters of the local wrestling community.
Yes.
So we're trying to look out for each other, right? We don't want to throw anyone under the bus, and we do not want us to get screwed, like in terms of like the livelihood of the wrestlers as well.
Yeah.
Suddenly people, like you said, again, it can be as easy as somebody like reporting it to like, local publication and say, they're doing this. And then it's going to start a whole, barrage of unnecessary stuff. And at most it should stop at our level. We kind of talk about it and then like kind of leave it at that. And it's just a learning lesson going forward. And I hope it stays there. And there's kind of, I think there's ways to go about things and get the kind of right heat, like the right kind of heat, right? We all know about the different type of heats there are, but the right kind of heat, I hope.
But like I said, to me, anytime that they've done any sort of religious storylines on television, it's just like, okay, now I'm uncomfortable. And that's the last thing you want, as a fan. You just want to have fun. You want to be offended, but not to that level.
And then again, we on Raw during the Attitude Era, we have Undertaker hanging people by the cross. Yeah.
Okay, but it's not the cross. It's the Undertaker symbol.
It's
a T shape. It's not a cross. It's a T. Okay.
I mean, that's very great, but again, like that's the last thing you want to see if your dad is like, what is this thing that you're watching? And I'm like,
hey, why got demonic and cult and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's wild. But okay, I'm glad we kind of like address it, because I think there were a couple of people that wanted us to address it. And that's our thoughts. And shout out to Prabhu, because Prabhu, of course, called it down the middle. He just essentially
reported it as it happened.
As it is. So this is kind of like after a week of reflection, and here's our thoughts on it.
Okay, so moving on, right? There are two things that we want to talk about, but I wonder which one we should talk about first. Should we talk about this lead up to WrestleMania? Or should we talk about the other company that's having a pay-per-view very soon that has completely slipped my mind? Like, I literally did not remember until you brought it up just now before we started recording that Dynasty is happening this weekend.
Yeah, Dynasty has taken over like WrestleMania weekend in a way, because this is historically the weekend where WrestleMania is supposed to be airing. Yeah. But we got Dynasty and...
okay. Do you want to just quickly run through Dynasty first? Because I feel like I haven't followed AEW. It has given me nothing to follow, as in nothing to want to watch.
From the last time we talked about it, right? During Revolution. Sure. Let's talk about what are the main matches that they are trying to sell this pay-per-view based off of.
There are a lot of Owen Hart Cup tournament things. Tony Khan loves his tournaments.
Yep, but you know what? Actually, Owen Hart Cup, I felt like out of all the tournaments, this actually had meaning. This was something that I was initially when it first started, I was really
Sure.
supportive of, right? Right?
Yeah.
But again, the last person that won it last year, that at least factored into a storyline, which is of course Bryan Danielson winning, right? And Mariah May also winning. So those were actually very consequential winners. Right now, I felt like with whatever Will Ospreay announced ahead of time, it kind of like spoiled the result.
What did he announce?
No, because he said that he wants to put his name in the tournament
for
the Owen Hart Cup with the view of winning it and challenging the winner of the world title and all in, right? So basically, he called his shot lah. He said that, I'm going to be in the tournament, I'm going to win it, and I'm going to get there. So when he kind of called his shot, immediately I was like, okay, yeah, that's a winner lah. I don't see anyone, and from the feel that they kind of gave off, and you can kind of rattle off the names, there's really no one else, right?
Sure. Okay, so these are the matches listed, right? Hangman Adam Page versus TBA. So there you go. Like I don't know if there's a thing called negative aura, but Hangman has it. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe.
Okay.
Oh my God, did you see? Very randomly, I saw a clip of this on one of those like Botch Club type of accounts, right? It was a match on Collision. It was Dax and Cash versus, was it Kyle?
Kyle and Roderick Strong.
What the hell happened? Huh? Do you know the context of that? Because I saw the clip, I was like, these are supposed to be four of the better wrestling wrestlers. And it was an absolute clusterfuck of, I don't know what we're doing.
I feel like, right, it's either just a bad day at the office, or all four of them are fucking distracted and like, damn, you're wrestling in Collision, fuck this shit, and then they are like, I wouldn't say they are phoning it in, but I think they weren't zoned in the match for some reason.
Yeah, the best was the finish where they were going to do the shatter machine, right? The FTR, and then like they were facing the wrong way, so Cash had to go an extra round off the ropes, and then Dax would turn around, and now they're facing the wrong way again. So he would bounce off, and it's like, oh my God, it's a comedy of errors. Guys, go out of your way to go and find this clip of Collision because it is hilarious.
Yeah, and it's wild because like again, these two teams during NXT Black and Gold were like, you can count on them to have killer banger matches, right?
Yes. So
I felt really, really bad.
Okay, so Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. We got Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart. In the women's side, Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. Who the is Kevin Knight?
I have no idea. Can you guys give me some context if you guys know? I'm assuming this is like one of the newer guys that they signed or like someone from Ring of Honor.
So I guess we know who's going to proceed in the next round.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier, right? Like, it's freaking Will Ospreay. Who else are they going to push beyond him, right? So
well, in the next bracket, and they won't have a match at Dynasty, it doesn't seem like. I don't know. But the next bracket is Brody King versus Konosuke Takeshita. So we might get Takeshita versus Will Ospreay.
Which will be an awesome match.
Yes.
I would say Takeshita would ideally be like a formidable opponent for Ospreay.
They're never going to give him that. We all know how AEW does it. You know? He's going to be there and then he's going to be not there. Okay, Hurt Syndicate with MVP versus the Learning Tree. I saw the promo with
MVP don't give a fuck, bro.
Big Bill. I want to say Big Cass. Big Bill. He looks big. He was like, with Enzo. I mean, he could handle his own on the mic.
Yep.
And then MJF just absolutely eviscerated them on, was it Dynamite?
It was MVP that eviscerated them. Yep. Okay, here's the thing, right? Here's why it's so funny. The intriguing thing about this whole situation is MJF, whether he will potentially be part of Hurt Syndicate, whether is he going to be the Owen Hart of the Hurt Syndicate. Like, all that thing is intriguing to me. But the thing that they're putting on pay-per-view is this match. You get what I mean? You get the issue here?
Yeah. It's like, okay. And we know who's going to win. Like, to be real honest, like, there is no shot in hell that the Learning Tree are going to win.
Yeah, and Brian Keith rabak, bro.
Aren't the Learning Tree heels?
The Learning Tree are heels. The Hurt Syndicate almost kind of like, they're just too badass to be whatever.
So they are heels, but AEW is a heel territory. Like the fans cheer heel. So it's just let's move on. Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole. They're still trying. They're still trying with this guy, TNT champion. All right.
Yeah. You know what? I want Adam Cole to win the title, man. He needs something to prop him up in AEW, man. To be honest, he hasn't won a title, right? Officially.
You know what? I just simply don't care. There's no reason to care, unfortunately, right?
So sad, right?
Yeah,
So sad.
so sad. He was supposed to be the guy. You know, it's crazy to say, but Vince was right.
He was our guy in NXT as well, right?
Yeah, and the whole rumor was that Vince did not want him on the main roster as a wrestler, as a manager, yes, but not a wrestler. And he was like, nope, I'm going to go to AEW. I guess Vince was right. All right, Chris Jericho versus Bandido title, ROH title versus Mask.
You know what? I would say this is a good spot for Chris Jericho to be in. This is his level at this point in time. Ring of Honor, kind of like helping other people.
Putting over Bandido because I don't see Bandido losing his mask.
Yeah, putting over Mexican wrestler. I think he's really, it's really a full circle moment. He started off his career in Mexico,
Sure,
having all these luchador battles. Now he's ending his career doing the same thing.
right.
So yeah.
Okay. It's the feud that will never end. Death Riders versus Rated FTR for the Trios title, which are still a thing apparently.
You know what? Unfortunately, I feel Death Riders is going to retain, and this is going to lead to some implosion between Rated FTR.
Now, my question is, do you see any way forward with Cash and Dax feuding against each other or breaking up or anything? Like, I do not, my friend. I do not see where that could go.
I do not want them to break up because I don't think they can stand on their own.
Yes, exactly.
Them being heel is fine.
Yeah.
But, okay, if they can recapture a bit of their heel magic when they were part of, what was the faction that they had with MJF? The Pinnacle?
Yes.
The Pinnacle?
Was it?
It was the Pinnacle, right? Him, Sean Spears, MJF, blah, 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 Wardlow, all that.
Yeah.
If they can turn heel and somehow get involved in Hurt Syndicate, I think it's at least they are in a tag team feud. I do not want them to have some sort of like Dax versus Copeland, then like I feel like, oh man, Adam Copeland also another thing, bro.
What if Cash and Dax both turn on Cope, which makes them heel, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
And then because here's the thing. And it's cold to me as I think about it, right?
Yeah.
I realize how effed up it is. The fact that I'm thinking, okay, because of the way this company works, it's friend work with friend. So I won't be surprised if they have Cash and Dax versus Edge and Edge puts them over because they're friends. And
yeah, but Edge puts them over meaning what? He teams up with someone else?
Yeah, he teams up with someone else or he goes one-on-one. It's a three-way or whatever it is, like handicap. And then he will put them over. He hasn't put anybody else over, but he will put his friends over. Like, don't you just hate it that was the first thought that came to my mind and not, oh, what's great for the story? Because this is what you expect from AEW at this point.
I feel very, like, I feel when Adam Copeland came into the company, I think he genuinely said, like, oh, I want to help people. I want to, like, push people over and all that kind of stuff. Then I think he got into some complications with some of the wrestlers that he encountered. Remember that whole thing with Ricky Starks?
Oh, yeah. The new NXT North American champion.
Congrats to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he also, then now he reached a point where, fuck you all, I want to help, but you all don't fucking care. I'm just going to work with my friends. I think it has led to that. I think CM Punk also experienced that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just a workplace culture thing.
Yeah, I think it's a victim of the system, and I think because you see, no one else has managed to galvanize the entire roster until now. People eventually ended up in cliques.
Yeah, and it's so freaking obvious. It's not even fun. That's why the same people work with each other all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then to the International Championship 3-way match. Kenny Omega, Ricochet, and Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yep.
Speedball Mike Bailey, who we've seen in Singapore, first of all.
Yes, apparently. I mean, this is, of course, before I kind of paid attention to Grapple Max, but he has had matches in Grapple Max. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, people from SPW, he might have had wrestled in SPW. So he's familiar, I would say he's a familiar face in this region, in Australia, of course. But again, why is he being pushed suddenly to this spot, right?
With Ricochet and Kenny Omega. Like, say what you want about Ricochet. he's still the ex-WWE guy. He still has some name
Name
value
value.
cachet, and it's growing on me. Right?
Is
Him as a
Ricochet
heel.
is Ricochet as a heel like a better choice right now for
Yes,
you?
yes, an irritating shit heel.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You know what? Ricochet versus Kenny Omega should have been a one-on-one match.
Exactly. Why?
Right.
Why you got this extra guy here?
Yeah. Like, and I have nothing against Speedball, right? I would even say that, yeah, give him an opportunity, but like don't push him too hard because like it's a symptom of like Tony Khan having
Yeah.
a new signing, wanting to push that new signing,
New
and then
toy.
and then forgetting about everyone else that that's right there. Like, hello Wardlow, where are you Wardlow?
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Well, AR Fox. It's literally the same thing they've done over and over again, right? So
Yep,
it is
yep.
what it is. Why is Kenny and Ricochet feuding? Is there a story there, or is it just like?
You don't know the answer to that?
Oh God, please. Okay, fine. Tell me.
International Championship Tournament. I told you that, right? Remember they had a tournament to
Yeah,
crown
yeah.
the winner, and then what happened was in the finals of the tournament, I think
Yeah.
there was like a draw. Hence why it became a triple threat.
Oh. Okay, well there you go, stakes. Let's talk about Timeless Tony Storm versus Megan Bayne. I've seen the clips of Tony and they're hilarious, all her promos.
Yep.
She's another one of those. She can survive and thrive there because she's on herself, on her own merit. Like great,
Yep.
right? Did you see the promo with her and Thunder Rosa? And she called them Thunder Tits.
Yep, I saw that.
I legit cracked up.
Yeah, it's dumb and funny. Like I can appreciate what Tony Storm brings to the table. And I even appreciate the fact now she got layers to her character, right? She
Yeah.
got I used to be like this fun-loving Australian girl, rock star, and then now I have this playing a role. Like all that very meta, I can appreciate it. Again, Megan Bayne, right? From the looks of it, straight away when I see her, yeah, impressive, right? Looks like a glamazon, blah blah blah. But same situation with Speedball, right?
Yep.
Has there been no one else in the company that they suddenly had to push this girl to the moon,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
You don't know something well? Let me
What?
bring you up one person's name they completely forgotten about now.
Okay.
Camille.
Oh, wait. Didn't she like quietly leave or she got fired? I don't know what lah.
I don't know whether is she fired? I have no idea.
Yeah,
Like-
she was supposed to be Mercedes Monet's bodyguard, right?
Correct.
And
correct.
then they made her look like an absolute jobber every single time other people were beating her up. She was supposed to be the muscle for Monet, but people were beating her up like she was some jobber. So
And-
immediately you ruined the aura of Camille already. Yeah.
And she never had that feud with Mercedes Monet.
No, there was never ever any payoff. I think they just quietly she became one of those, she rubbed Tony the wrong way or whatever it is, and then
Really?
Tony just ignored her. Yeah, she disappeared from TV.
Okay, here's the crazy thing, right? They were the previous PLE or pay-per-view, they were promoting Queen of the Ring. Is that movie which had Camille, right?
Yes.
Which had Tony Storm as well.
Yeah.
And my favorite person, it has Jim Cornette.
Yes.
Okay, but fine, they ignore Jim Cornette, fine. But they mentioned Tony Storm.
Yeah.
They barely mention Camille being in it. And here's the thing, right? If they had actually pushed her right, from the time when she kind of lined up with Mercedes Monet, they could have actually had a bubbling feud that culminated in Revolution just in time for her to promote the movie. She could have been a bigger star because she has a movie to promote and she's also prominently featured on the show.
Bro.
And I love Camille from NWA, so like, why?
Bro, this would require forethought and planning and pre-booking and timetables, stuff that Tony Khan does not have time for. Production meetings, who needs that shit? Just go out there, oh, it's showtime, and just do some shit. Do some wrestling, wear the best wrestling. Like, yeah, at this point, it's a meme, it's a joke already,
Yeah, and again, it's nothing against Megan Bayne, right? Like,
No,
it's a
no.
great opportunity, great spot for her, good for her, right?
Yeah.
And of course, if nothing else, she does have a great look. I've not seen her wrestle like properly. I've only seen that one botched issue with remember that Penelope Ford and Thunder Rosa doing that chair spot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when she's supposed to wait, and then she basically
Did not back away, did not run away.
Yeah,
Basically
so-
making Thunder Rosa look like a complete joke.
So that wasn't really a good first impression, right? You really lost me there. So the thing is, she might do well. She might surprise
Sure.
people because I never heard of Stephanie Verker
Yep.
last year during Forbidden Door, and then she had a match with Sasha Mercedes Monet. I was like, after that, she was all I could think about, right? Like,
Yep,
who cares
yep.
about Mercedes, right?
La
So
Primera.
yeah, she's great. But the thing is, right, when I look at Megan Payne, in my head, I keep thinking, why is Camille not in this spot? They literally just had one person who was like the powerhouse women. Where is she? You know what I mean?
There are a lot of people who could have been in this spot, but over and over again, it's just, it is a thing. Like what happened to Harley Cameron? Mariah May, hot off a great feud with Tony Storm, fallen off the map.
Yeah. Yeah. But that being said, do you see they had like a Indiana Jones like recreation of a poster, but
No.
using Tony Storm and Megan Payne?
Oh?
That was dope. Like whoever
Okay.
designed that was amazing. Like it's on the AEW's Instagram page. But again, like I would say they have all the ingredients they need, right?
Yeah.
But again,
The cook.
as with great movies, you can have everything sweet production value, everything casting all perfect, but the writing is crap.
Yeah.
The stories are crap. People won't buy it.
I give you a very good example, bro, because these two movies I didn't watch in theaters, but they released it on Netflix. And you know how big of a Marvel fan I am, right?
Oh, yeah.
Venom, The Last Dance, Kraven, the Hunter.
Yeah.
These two Marvel characters, the Spider-Man villains, Oh my God. Like, watching that, right, I'm like, freaking, you have, like, I'm sure he was nominated for Oscar. Yeah, Oscar nominated. Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Tom Hardy?
Venom. Tom Hardy, thank you.
Yep.
You have Aaron Taylor Johnson, also award-winning actor, right?
Yep.
They are trying their best with the shittiest script and the shittiest plot, but you can tell they are trying. They really put in the effort to do the scenes and make it happen. But the movie is just absolute dog shit. And you feel bad for them. You're like, they can do much better than this. Like, what is going on?
Didn't the Venom movie, right? They were teasing like a super big bad, but he never even appeared in the movie in the end. He wasn't even part of the movie.
Null, the king of the symbiotes, right?
Yep.
Anyway, that's what AEW is right now. They have all the ingredients. They just don't have the right mastermind, the person to pull it all together. They don't have a Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting combo and Nick Khan combination.
Yep. And that just shows that, there's a reason why WWE has always retained that number one position. I just feel like there hasn't been a very sustained number two challenger.
Nope.
And I would say TNA, it's more of like, somehow they are like a cockroach. They just survive,
Yes.
But like, I wouldn't say they are like doing their own thing. They're great. And like, they have their own fan base. They have their own small fan base,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah. I
tried, bro. I tried watching a bit of TNA. I will admit, right? They are indie on an indie budget.
Yep.
AEW is indie on a billionaire budget.
Correct. So there's levels, I would say. Yeah. So somebody said like it's like a Bizarro NXT or somebody said something like that. Was it Cornet? I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just get to the main event of Dynasty. Jon Moxley versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. All right. How much blood will be lost? How much disgusting shit will happen? That's the question.
I'm ready for Swerve to get back the title. I think credit to Swerve, because when he first won the title last year, right, immediately his title reign was like kind of scuppered. Like it was just dead on arrival when he became champion. For some reason, they just didn't make him look good, right? And then when he dropped the title, it felt like a mercy, right? I think he dropped it to Bryan Danielson. But my God, Jon Moxley has been so bad that somehow Swerve has gotten back to relevance. And I mean, maybe even credit to Hangman's feud with him, right? But he feels like a main eventer again, Swerve.
Yeah.
And
we've always said that he has the chops. But you have to understand, right? These two are going to lean into their worst tendencies. And we know they love doing that CZW shit. So,
man, I hope not.
Yeah. Like, I'm just waiting for when it happens, and then we'll see it on social media, and then I'll maybe, out of morbid curiosity, go and find the match to watch. That's the only way I'll watch this.
As of now, it's still a straight up one-on-one match.
Yeah.
Like not that it's a disqualification match or what. It's a normal match, right? I do hope that they keep it there. I'm not expecting it, but I do hope so, because man, like Swerve can wrestle. We've seen it. Yeah, so
Or
damn.
maybe the post match, then John Moxley suffocates him with a plastic bag or tries to staple his balls or whatever nonsense they will come up with. They'll come up with some shit one.
Yeah, yeah. We need Swerve to take the title back because he's being held hostage at this point in time.
Unfortunately. All right, there you go. That's AEW Dynasty, the possibly the worst review preview of
Yeah.
it because we just don't care no more.
Are we watching this? I'm probably just gonna look at results.
Yeah, no, same. I was just looking at clips on social media and we'll see how lah. Maybe, like I said, something drastic is gonna happen that will make me watch it. Maybe that's what I feel.
If it's interesting, we'll talk about it next week.
Sure.
If not, man, we full steam ahead with WWE and WrestleMania.
Say la vie, because there's only so much time in our lives, and I would rather spend it watching phase 1, 2, and 3 of the MCU and Daredevil on Netflix versus watching Venom and Craven, which is what AEW is. Let's talk about WWE right now. Let's talk about that road to WrestleMania. And all right, for those who still, for whatever reason, says, "Oh, Mr. Young, you're always glazing WWE, you're hating on AEW." I want to talk about the worst builds leading up to WrestleMania at this point.
For sure. Come, let's do it, bro.
Yes. Obviously, I didn't get your take from it last week, but I know you got to be happy. And the way they presented it as well, I want to rewind back to that contract signing, Roman Reigns. What, do you need a highlighter? That was hilarious. I thought that was very funny. And then, CM Punk slowly going through the contract. Is that the first time we've ever seen somebody actually read the contract?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. And then, leave it to Punk to do something like that.
Punk and Heyman, right? And then them leading up to the whole, I know what you're looking for. It's on page whatever. You're going to be the main event. And the pride in Paul Heyman's face, because we all know the history between Paul Heyman and CM Punk, right?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
he starts to cry and all that emotional shit. Stakes, brother, stakes.
Bro, I mean, this is what CM Punk wanted, right? When he said he wanted to be, the one driving the ship, the number one guy. We are living in I would say alternate reality where CM Punk is the top guy, and this is the kind of WWE that we will get because he has been talking about this since from the time when you weren't watching wrestling at that point in time, right? Where it was the John Cena era, Vince McMahon era, and CM Punk was really, really trying to say I want to make the change, right? I want to be the change, but he in real life he got held down. But I feel like now, CM Punk has been given a great spot, has been given, I would say, so-called the keys to the kingdom. You can see the kind of layered storytelling Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman is giving, and it's for the smart fan because he is a smart, fan. He's a mark himself, right?
No, but see, it is for the smart fan, but it is not so over the top of your head that the casual fan cannot understand. The casual fan also understands. So I would say it's not for just the smart fans. It's for everybody. But if you are a smart fan, you know a bit extra. It's like Marvel movies that do well because they appeal to the mass, but we still wing not give you Easter eggs.
It's the Marvel formula. You're right, exactly. It appeals to the mass audience, but like those comic book historians will be like, "Oh my god, remember this blah blah blah, this Easter egg." Like you would know about it and you will be excitedly telling the casuals about it, right?
Yeah, I'm the guy who I turn to my wife and hey, actually that one happened in blah 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 blah. That one.
Yeah,
the annoying boyfriend.
bro, I'm the same way. I'm the one. I'm bad for wrestling lah. So
okay.
It's perfect. So back to CM Punk's so-called like the clause, right? What he just wanted it to. I mean the announcement at that point in time was like he is gonna be main eventing. And I think a bunch of you guys were like texting me as well, like, "Oh, remember this was my prediction from last week."
Yes.
I felt like, it makes so much sense because the Royal Rumble winners don't deserve to main event based on the bill alone.
Yeah.
And again, based on star power alone, I would say it's justified that they're the main event, right?
For sure. Can we give props to Seth Rollins, by the way? And when he freaked out about, the kids call it crashing out. When he crashed out about CM Punk getting that main event slot, I thought that was this is my favorite Seth Rollins. Not the overly flamboyant, wearing Lady Gaga outfit stuff. No, you can tell he was pissed.
Seth Rollins, the hater, right?
Yeah.
We need at least one hater in the company, whether it's Drew, Seth, you need that I love that trope in wrestling. Someone who just does not want other people to succeed.
Correct. Yeah, his whole thing was, I don't want you to live out your dream. I don't want you to have a main event at WrestleMania. I don't care about anything else.
If you think about it, this has been the basis of their feud, right? Between all three guys. If I can't have that title, or if I can't win, I want to ensure that you won't win as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's great. I see the value of Seth Rollins. Also because the fact that he is a wild card, right? Because you have, people are speculating Roman Reigns and CM Punk has that Heyman connection, right?
Yeah.
But what if Seth somehow gets entangled? Well, technically right now he has no connection, so he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But people were kind of speculating what if it's Heyman turning on the two of them and going with Seth. I mean, that's a bit far-fetched. That's a bit far-fetched.
Well,
but
okay, let's fast forward to this week's SmackDown and talk about the Favour, which was finally revealed. And the Favour actually links to a thing that happened like literally on camera. I think people are sharing the clip of him talking about, I will escort you down to the ring at WrestleMania. I will be in your corner. He said that in the... I wasn't watching wrestling at the time, right? But I'm sure you know the clip.
Yeah, from 12 years ago, 2013. And that was a time when CM Punk and Heyman had his issues with Brock Lesnar. So Brock and Punk was fighting over Heyman. So it's so apropos that, a decade later is the kind of full circle moment, but this time Roman Reigns. They have promised each other that this is going to happen. Like CM Punk said, like, the only person that advocated for CM Punk was Paul Heyman, even from OVW days, ECW days, all the way until now. So there's history there. But what's so interesting is that how a Favour can become the driving point of this storyline.
Bro, this is the man that made a Taylor Swift style bracelet into a whole goddamn like feud. Okay? So now it's a Favour. Then there was the Ulafala, the necklace for the longest time too.
Yeah.
This is just great storytelling. This is what so many people, not just AEW, but certain like movie companies just lack.
You do not, you can have very obvious stakes, right? Fighting for a championship, qualifying for number one contendership. That would have been like the very straightforward way to go about it. But it's the strength of the storytelling that allows you to even take a simple plot device or like a prop. It's not even a MacGyver. I really honestly think that this drives the story forward. Because
wait, you mean MacGuffin, right?
Oh, MacGuffin, sorry.
You said MacGyver. I'm like, huh?
Bro, so confident as well I said it.
I know. No, I do that all the time.
Yeah, you gotta power through it, right? No, but
by the way, for those who don't, just context, just in case, a MacGuffin is a plot device in a movie or a show that, like, for example, the Infinity Stones. Everyone fight because Infinity Stone, all powerful. That's the plot device that drives the plot forward, the MacGuffin, right? There you go. Okay, anyway.
But the Favour is so multi-layered, right? Because on the surface, a Favour is, like CM Punk mentioned, he wants Paul Heyman to walk or be in his corner during the match, right?
Walk him down the aisle, macam like going to get married, bro.
Yeah, like best man like that, right? Yeah, but if you look on a deeper psychological level, it deals a psychological blow to Roman Reigns. He's saying that, your guy, your wise man is mine all along. And now, remember a year ago when Cody Rhodes said to Roman Reigns, at the end of the day, you're just going to be a chief without a tribe. You're going to be an island all on your own. And Heyman is that final person to betray Roman Reigns, right? Everyone else has left him. So that will speak of a new level of character development for Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns is like, how can he be the tribal chief if there's no one following him anymore?
Yeah, no wise man, no right-hand man, nothing.
So that plays into something beyond just a simple, superficial Favour. Very, very smart storytelling and writing there.
I just find it a little bit funny. Like it makes a damn difference. If you think about it too hard, I mean, like from a certain point of view, right? It's like, so he's just gonna be ringside lah. Like,
yes, correct. Like I have seen sections of the internet saying like, that one only, just Favour only. Like, what's such a big deal, right?
Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. Like, if you look deeper enough.
Yeah, but why I feel that this is very impactful is it plays into this so-called, we are on the coming down the bloodline storyline, essentially, right? We are going to move on to this new whole situation where what is Roman Reigns without all the armor that he's had in all these last 5 years. Because when he was all alone as the big dog, bro, he wasn't, I mean, he was successful, he was pushed, but the fans didn't accept him. But now can he stand on his own with this so-called new gimmick, but without the kind of support that he needs? So we'll play a lot into that storyline.
Look, what if you get Brock Lesnar back?
It's a reach, bro. It's a reach.
I know it is, but when you think about Paul Heyman, there are only a handful of people you think next to him.
In a perfect world, right, bro?
Yeah.
In a perfect world, it would have been like you said, a CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar triple threat match.
Wait, who else have they tried to make Paul Heyman manage?
A lot.
Wasn't Curtis Axel a Paul Heyman guy or something like that?
For a cup of coffee, yes.
Yeah.
You had Big Show back in the day.
Yes.
Kurt Angle, they were all part of it. Fuck. He even I remember he even managed like A-Train.
Yeah. Okay, they tried. But the three most famous, obviously, we know. Roman, Brock, and CM.
You know the one that really they tried but couldn't make it?
Who?
The Cesaro. They tried to make him a Paul Heyman guy for a very short time and they gave up.
Well, okay, there you go. So that to me is one of the best feuds going to WrestleMania. Of course, we got Cena versus Rhodes. We'll talk more about that next week. Even Gunther versus Jey, we're seeing more of the Jimmy connection. It's funny now Jimmy is doing the yeet also. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say was I felt like when I was watching Raw, they made me care about the Jey Uso and Gunther segment,
Bro,
right?
Did you see Gunther making Jimmy bleed? And then I don't know if they cut too deep or what, but bro looked like something straight out of a horror movie. I'm like, what is going on?
I think Triple H was like, come, let's do the Randy Orton Triple H handcuff feud from 15 years ago. Remember the one where somebody was saying Gunther just needed to kiss Jimmy, then like how Randy Orton kissed Stephanie.
Oh,
perfect already.
Right. Wait, didn't they do that in Hell in a Cell also? Remember Roman Reigns?
Was it? Somebody got handcuffed.
Jimmy, right? No, he was like choking him out or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Jey Uso,
Yeah.
So, it was Roman and Jey Uso in Hell in a Cell, and he used Jimmy to. It's like an I quit situation.
Yes,
right?
I quit situation. Yeah. So okay, we've seen this before, him using the blooded, battered body of a loved one, to taunt him, to build up to WrestleMania. Look, I have nothing against that. It's not a main event like WrestleMania feud or match, but it's good enough. And I think that Jey will have his time, right? He will have his championship run, which is great. And like I said earlier, the rest of the matches, they are just there. Some of the matches, you accept it for what it is. Like, okay Liv Morgan and Raquel versus whoever, TBC, right? For the women's tag titles. It's just going to be a match. AJ versus Logan Paul. He just qualified. Fatu.
Fatu versus LA Knight.
It's like, okay, it's probably the start of something. So I'm not going to fault them for such a short run-up, right?
Yep.
But there are two feuds, bro. At first there was one. And then after this past SmackDown, there are two feuds that just are like ultra cringe, make no sense. In this day and age of amazing storytelling, these to me are the worst feuds leading up to WrestleMania. All right, can you guess?
I don't even need to guess the first one. It's gotta be Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. God damn it.
Let's talk about it. Okay. Yeah. Is there any chance, bro? Is there any chance that they're doing this on purpose? That I am not giving them the benefit of the doubt. That they are portraying this like legit discomfort, because remember last time we talked about that promo between Tiffany and Charlotte just looked like she was trying to bury Tiffany. And we speculated that maybe that was the whole point, to make Charlotte like an uber heel. And then on this past SmackDown, they felt so awkward in that promo. Like, it was the cringiest promo. I mean, Charlotte had some good lines, but then it kind of dissolved. And why would Tiffany say shit on live TV? It felt like she got flustered and frustrated. That's why she dropped the shit. Because I dropped the shit. But, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like you know how WWE recently have been so good at milking those like bad word moments.
Yep.
This felt like she was legitimately frustrated at this promo going off the rails, because it felt like it went off the rails.
Somebody went off script. Definitely. I think both of them went off script. Okay, so here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out, right? Is it like they were calling it on the fly? Like maybe Charlotte and Tiffany were in on it and they were like, you know what, let's just go throw all these bombs at each other, but I got you, right? Like they know like they're working for it.
Yep.
Or was it like when Becky and Charlotte was doing the belt tugging and like fuck this shit, I'm just gonna fuck each other up?
That gave those vibes. It reminded me of that moment where everyone just felt a bit uncomfortable, a bit lost, a bit, And then there was the whole like, your voice is so squeaky. I was like, what am I watching?
Oh, it's like reality TV show, bro. It's like that kind of cringe, bro.
Yeah, so that's my question. Are they doing it on purpose? And then there's the whole I get the bringing up the divorce thing because that's supposed to be the truth bomb, like, oh, I got you moment, right? And then did you hear the throwaway line of, oh, why is Ludwig sliding into my DMs? I'm like, what? And it felt like it felt like such a throwaway line. It was not delivered with impact, like at a crescendo of a heated argument. Did you see how Tiffany, like when she said whatever she said, the divorce thing, right? 0-3, she immediately got out of the ring and rolled out. Like she didn't want, like
she didn't want the smoke lah.
Yeah, she didn't want the smoke anymore. Like she was like, okay, this is my mic drop moment. I'm just gonna leave. But as a babyface, you can't be doing that. You can't be backing away from your challenger. It just felt very like, okay, Tiffany is not at the level where she can verbally spar with a veteran like Charlotte. And Charlotte is a give no fucks type of veteran who, if you can't handle being in the ring with her, you should probably not. Promos.
You forgot to mention one thing as well, though. Like, did you realize, I think Charlotte was genuinely affected by the crowd?
Yes.
Like, Right.
Yes.
So that's one thing as well. Like a lot, I think we were talking about on the Discord, right? Shout out to our listeners as well. Like, Charlotte is already at this point in time, like a veteran, right?
Yep.
But why is she at this point in her career still being affected by the crowd? Like the crowd got to her.
Exactly. And she's a heel. She should be happy that they're booing her. So I didn't understand that at all.
There was this one part, do you remember when the boos was so loud and then she was like, you know what, Tiffany, I think you just finish it up lah. It's like she gave up talking her part,
Yeah, it's like, isn't that supposed to be great heat? That's what Dominic gets, and it's great for him, right?
Yeah.
It felt very cringe, very awkward, and it did not make me want to watch the match. It just, it's horrible.
Yeah, like, I think here's what I thought happened, right? Like, they started off with a script, a plan in mind, right?
Sure.
But then the crowd started hijacking the segment, which was very obvious. And the crowd have already decided before this whole promo that they're going to side with Tiffany no matter what, right? So which is supposed to be the case, right?
Tiffany is the face, yes.
Correct. So the thing is, the tag teaming of the crowd and Tiffany throwing all the truth bombs, technically, if Charlotte wants to get heated or flustered, right, it should be in character. Like, she genuinely, like, she will show anger, she got emotion, she will like, like how MJF gets affected by the crowd, like in storyline.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was like gonna cry. She was like, man, they're so mean to me, and like she wanna cry.
So I don't get it. Did she expect them to cheer her because she's a heel? So it's a huge that whole segment was a huge disconnect. And then everything that happened after. The babyface just rolling out of the ring, like, okay, that's my mic drop, but she looks weak because she backed away from a fight. And then just Kaiser, Ludwig slide into my DM, like,
that line, right? You know what it reminds me? It's like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. The line reminded me of like somebody who just cannot own, right?
Yeah.
And then they were like trying to process the ownage, and then they're like 5 seconds later on delay. Oh yeah, I thought of a cool zinger, but by the time finished already the movement.
Yeah, the fella's out already. It's like your mom. Sort of like
I
was like, wow.
It's like when you cannot own in like a diss track or something, and then you go home after 1 week, like, okay, I just thought of the best comeback ever. But like, it's really over, bro. You dropped the ball at that moment.
So I feel this feud has been just snake bit. And Tiffany, like, I don't understand why they're not protecting her in that. they're letting them go out there and just absolutely sink.
It's like a sink or swim situation. I think they trying to
Bro,
get.
Charlotte is sinking, which is the shocking part because she's supposed to be the veteran.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? The match is probably gonna be great, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not in question, right? But the thing is, like, everyone's coming out of this feud looking really bad.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
See, so I keep asking myself, are they doing this on purpose to pretend like they have this real life animosity and this is not scripted, right? But to exactly what you just said. But then it comes back to both of them look like idiots. Both of them do not look like, they look like kids bickering. And I'm not very interested in this match, to be honest.
But what about the other perspective where people are saying like, well, that's the most viral moment from SmackDown this week. People are talking about this feud. Like, people are like genuinely dissecting whether they are truly got hit with each other. So in a way, have they done their job?
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking you. So are they working us?
Because for me watching that, right, I have rewatched that segment like 3-4 times already since he went on YouTube. So like, I'm genuinely like, damn, these bitches hate each other. Like, I love it. You know, like, I don't mind it, right? Because let's be honest, right? When Charlotte Flair went on that talk show, and she did went on a talk show, so it's almost as if like it was telegraphing, because she knew she's got to know, if I'm going to go on a talk show and, you know, like, pour my life, and it's right before SmackDown, confirm my opponent going to use it, right? So it's almost as if like, okay, maybe this could further the storyline in a way. But the problem is like, if for example, I'm an actor, I know this guy is going to say this shit about me. But then in the moment when the person is saying that shit to you, suddenly you kind of like lost the facade that this was kind of a storyline, and suddenly you started feeling it. Like,
yeah, you start feeling the offense, like you're getting offended. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't it remind you of that story? Like, okay, I don't know whether you remember. This is kind of a almost like a tidbit. There was a situation where John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, when he was still in FCW, he wanted to do like a semi-shoot storyline with Mick Foley. I'm not sure whether you know what happened, but the storyline was nixed. It was supposed to happen in SummerSlam 2012.
Yeah.
And he was still developmental. He started calling out Mick Foley at conventions and, you know, appearing at the convention and say like, you know, you're the reason for my generation of wrestlers wanting to be a hardcore death star, blah, blah, blah. So actually, apparently, they have agreed to do this storyline, right? But then, John Moxley started like taking pot shots on Mick Foley, like calling out his family, like making personal attacks at the kids on Twitter, right? And the thing is, like, apparently there was like a hard and fast rule, like there's off limits lah. That Mick Foley say, okay, we can do whatever, we can make this like almost like a work shoot, but whatever is, don't talk about my family like that or something like that lah. But I think maybe Dean Ambrose didn't get the hint, or like thought like, oh, okay, he's saying that can still talk about the family, but just not too much. But I'm just gonna mention it still, blah blah blah.
Bro, we've seen what Mox is about. He just don't give a F. He just do whatever.
Yeah, but long story short, he said something that apparently Mick Foley felt that was offensive, and he actually texted Dean Ambrose like, hey, I think that one might be a bit too much. But Dean Ambrose didn't reply him because apparently he doesn't own a phone, or he didn't have a SIM card when he was, so when he went, he was in Europe for like a tour. So essentially he kind of ghosted Mick Foley. So Mick Foley genuinely thought that they got issues now. So basically they got worked into a shoot. You get what the point I'm trying to make?
Yeah, I do. But this is the WWE in 2025 where it's a fully well-oiled machine. And I'm sure whatever they're going to do is probably run through some agents. I want to know who's the agent booking this actually.
Yeah. Well, definitely not Wade Barrett, because he was just standing there smiling like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
So anyway, just to put a bow on this awful mess. Yeah, it just felt weird. Okay. Is there context to the Ludwig comment?
No, okay.
At some point, did Ludwig Kaiser actually send Charlotte a DM?
No,
and it's a thing.
Unless, if this shit will go to the next level, if suddenly Charlotte Flair go on social media, well, you want the receipts, here you go. Then suddenly got screenshot. Then that will be like wild, like next level of the storyline.
So I think that, yes, if that happens, and somehow they rope in Ludwig, right? And then he's getting quite a bit of, he's doing very well, I feel. He's doing great matches, but he's not in like a proper feud.
Yeah, understand.
But like, can you imagine if that really became a thing? And then the guy that cheated on Tiffany Stratton, he would get like ultra heat.
That would be, okay, if that becomes the part of the storyline and he turns on Tiffany, like, I mean, that's amazing, right? Then we are like, I will bow my head and say,
Thanks
you
for
guys,
working me. Yes.
yes, we have been worked. This is the best women's storyline ever, right? But come on, like it was obvious that she was just like reaching. And no offense, no hate on Charlotte. Why would you go after Charlotte when you got Tiffany Stratton, bro? You got a baddie with you.
Downgrade, downgrade.
Nothing even nothing to do with the age even. Somebody said them busted, you know. Like I'm so sorry, this is so mean, but I'm just
What?
repeating what I saw on Twitter. Somebody say it is Tiffany Stratton versus the 15 faces of Charlotte Flair. It's not the 3 faces of Foley, but the
15. Yes, she's had a bit of work done, but it is what it is. Hey, it's her body, it's her choice, right? Very quickly, Tiffany in these feuds, in these promos, back to the whole build of it, right?
Yep.
We talked about it last time too. She's been exposed over and over again, and especially today, she was flustered too. You know, they were both flustered, and it just left a completely sour taste in my mouth.
You know what? I won't be on that harsh on Tiffany because you forget she's 25 years old only.
Yeah, sure.
So she definitely can bounce back from this.
Yeah, but my point is you shouldn't put her in that spot if you know she's not going to be, she's going to sing and look like an idiot, right? This whole thing makes both of them look like idiots.
If nothing else, I don't know why Charlotte is not taking care of this like situation. Like if I'm the veteran here, I want to make sure like, you know, the person that I'm feuding with gets the shine. I'm still kind of like coming across as like I'm not shitting on her, but the fact that she is speaks a lot about what Charlotte brings to the table here right now.
At the end of it, to me, it didn't work because nobody looks good.
So somebody needs to look good.
What do you think is the other match that I feel like has been the worst build to WrestleMania?
Here's the thing, I off the top of my head, I can't tell because you said from SmackDown, right?
No, it's from Raw. And this was a feud that last week I already was like, okay, I'm going to give it one more week, give it a chance to see where it goes. And it has not turned the corner for me. I feel like it is the worst build of a match.
Okay, you know what? I know where. I have an idea.
Okay.
And is it going to be quite sad to say that it's also a women's feud?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. Yep.
It is Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. All right. We talked about how I'm just not a fan of Io Sky constantly as champion being made to look like a complete jobber leading up to this. And maybe that's the point, right? To get people behind her. But outside of European crowds, American crowds are not cheering her. People are not behind her, you know, for whatever reason, right? And then we have Rhea Ripley. She still maintains her pop and her heat solely because of who she is and what she's done in the past. She is that superstar level already. But if you think about who she is in terms of this feud, right? Isn't she the heel? She has been the one that has been getting in Bianca's face, being the petulant child, stealing the contract, you know? So that's a heel, right? Or if you don't want to look at it, let's not look at it as heel face, that kind of thing. But that is not like, nothing about it is something I want to cheer. It's like, oh, you're being irritating more than anything.
Yeah, she's doing a Shawn Michaels from 2004, getting in the way of Triple H and Chris Benoit. Like we've seen this done before.
Hey, that's actually a really good that's a really great deep cut.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, when Shawn Michaels and Triple H had that bitter personal feud, it felt unfinished. So like by the time, you know, Chris Benoit came into the picture, he won the Royal Rumble. He's like, I know you guys had a thing, but now it's my turn. Like I felt Shawn Michaels had a legitimate reason to kind of want to get involved, right? And he did.
But at the same time, the crowd was very much behind Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit had the Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan sort of like that movement, right? And it felt like he was stealing his thunder. He was stealing his moment.
Correct. That played into the storyline, and I think it makes sense.
None of this is available here in this match.
The issue with this match, and I know they wanted to go on the long roundabout way because they have a lot of TV time to build for WrestleMania, right? Honestly, Rhea should not have dropped the title to Io the day after Elimination Chamber. It should have just been a straight up Rhea versus Bianca, and they could have just played that storyline all the way here.
Right now, you got Rhea, who is your top woman, top performer, right?
Yep.
Looking like a petulant child. You have Io acting like a petulant child, even though she's your champion, getting disrespected left, right, and center. Nobody's taking her seriously. And you have Bianca, who's actually got a really great story, but on the different brand. She is supposed to be involved with Jade and Naomi, but somehow she got roped into this story because they wanted her in this match at WrestleMania. Like, the road to get here has been shit.
I almost wished that Bianca didn't win.
Yeah.
Because if she did not win, she could have been part of the Jade and Naomi situation, right?
Yeah, and at least that one has stakes, it has emotion, it has friendship, blah, blah, blah. It's great stuff. Naomi's doing great work as a heel right now.
Right. But then the thing is, like, you needed a challenger for Rhea, Ripley, and Io because they weren't in a match in the Elimination Chamber. And then there wasn't anyone feasibly that could have won because you already seen Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan had a great performance during that match, but we've already seen her as champion, right? They didn't want to pull the trigger on Alexa Bliss. A lot of people like her coming back. So
what happened to Alexa?
They just dropped her because I think they don't have a storyline for her going to WrestleMania. They want to save her for afterwards.
Yeah, she literally disappeared after she came back at the where she came back? Rumble?
She came back at Rumble. She appeared on both PLEs, right?
And then after that,
gone. So there was a situation where actually she was slated to appear at WWE World on the week leading up to WrestleMania, but then her appearance got pulled. So there was some speculation that, like, what was that? Is that like WWE saying like, okay, we're not gonna factor her in the road because she's gonna be only part of like post WrestleMania? We do not know.
Yeah.
But again, you brought somebody back with a lot of fan support, and you don't do anything with her. So it's a missed opportunity, lah.
And just looking at this match, right, and what it's probably gonna be, Io versus Bianca versus Rhea. Like, the match itself is probably gonna be really good, but the story, the lead up, everything has been a miss to me. And we've seen all three as champion before, multiple times already. Like, I don't literally care who wins the title now out of this three.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? But that being said, bro, I actually enjoyed the special guest referee match, like the main event on Raw. I thought it was really quite well done because like Rhea and Io had a banger as expected, and I did like the tension of Bianca being the referee.
Yeah, but wasn't it so obvious what was going to happen? Like, you could call it from a mile away.
Yeah, it's like Wrestling 101 lah, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I feel like what is up with all these multi-man matches in WrestleMania, right? Can't they just like commit to just one triple threat?
Yeah. They're trying to get as many of them, on the docket on the card and get them a payday. It's living out a dream WrestleMania, and I get it, I respect it as well, but to me this has been the worst build of any feud. Primarily because it's made me look at Rhea and go, what are you doing? As opposed to, oh, it's mommy, you know what I mean? There used to be this aura of mommy's here, she's gonna wreck shop. Now it's like she's just gonna do petulant shit.
Yeah, I would even say her feud last year with Becky felt like even more personal. Like, Becky had a legitimate reason to go after Rhea. Rhea was trying to prove herself. There was a lot of layers to that story.
Yeah.
This is just like, that's why I say like they should have just made Rhea versus Bianca because they could have told that story so well. Can you imagine they had like a Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart kind of like lead up, like everyone going to their separate training regimens, or like like Bianca training her CrossFit and then Rhea going back to Australia to kind of recapture, like all that can be told in the vignettes leading up to WrestleMania. Missed opportunity, man.
But okay, answer me this: what is the point of making Io Sky look like a child next to them, like at every turn? Face palm, like pie face, and then she's doing the overacting, unfortunate, Japanese style thing that I can't stand. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and here's the thing: they've already established that she's a badass. Like, in NXT, we know that she can wrestle and she's fearless and all that. But how can these two opponents, just because they're taller or bigger than her, underestimate her, knowing that she's really given them a lot of great matches? So the psychology a bit off lah.
Yeah, and not only that, right? It's like we always talk about, you should always make your opponent look good, even if you are talking down to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And nothing in this feud has made Io Sky look good.
Yeah, agreed. Agree. It's like she had to fight for the attention to get noticed by her opponents, which is just not the right
and she's the
logic.
champion. You know, can
Yeah.
you imagine if she's just like, all right, I don't care about you two. Whoever it is, you come and face me, and then she walks off. At
Yeah.
least, okay, she got some vibe. Cool.
More aura. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
she's like, oh, geez, stop.
Yeah. It's bad. Like I would even say again, the feud last year with Bailey felt so much more stakes, you know. And poor Bailey, like we don't even know where she is right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. One more thing, actually, I wanted to bring it up earlier, but I completely forgot about it. Talking about WrestleMania matches, right?
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm gonna bring up, because do you think this is a work or a shoot?
Which is?
Someone has been pulled off the WrestleMania card.
Ah,
On SmackDown,
yes.
Kevin Owens comes out in a Bret Hart sweater. So I'm like, okay, and he's somber and he's talking about how he has to get neck surgery. Is this a shoot or a work, you reckon?
They've gotten me, bro. I do not know.
Because it felt real, right? It felt like one of those moments where they just like were like, okay, you know, you have to do the neck surgery. We want to give you a moment to let the fans respect you. And then Randy even comes out and then they stare down and then sort of just leave it at that, right? So I'm like, oh man. And then Randy RKO's Nick all this because you got to give the fans a pop. So I get that.
Yeah.
It seems like a shoot.
Somebody said this and brought up I would say it's a fair point. Like, if he really truly have to go for neck surgery, wouldn't getting punt kick at WrestleMania be the perfect send-off for him to go?
Exactly, right?
Yeah. And like, if you announce it now, he has not been physical at all since since Sami Zayn. So technically he can still afford to not be physical up until WrestleMania. And even say, for example, he really needs to go for neck surgery, couldn't the match be like a 5-minute squash where Randy just obliterates him and that's
exactly.
it?
No, that's a great point, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But
if it's a work, right? Then how?
Yeah.
You're gonna set this up next SmackDown?
I mean, there's still 2 more weeks of SmackDown, so like anything can still happen.
2 or 1?
Two.
Two. You're right. Two.
Yeah, you're right.
SmackDown.
So there's still 2.
So maybe next week's SmackDown we see video handheld footage of Kevin Owens doing headstands. So like, don't bluff, your neck not broke.
I really hope so. Because I this is actually one of the matches that I was looking forward to. And I love Randy, I love Kevin Owens. So it would have been such a shame if they ended it. A couple of things like make me felt like I can't say for sure, because Randy came and they had a face-to-face and they didn't say anything. So it's almost as if like if this was real life, right? Like they are acknowledging like, or it's more like this sucks. I would love to still have wrestled you, but okay, let's move on. But we can't really acknowledge it because we are supposed to hate each other.
Yeah.
So
no, exactly. Yeah.
So that's why it felt like a gray area. But secondly, I felt like this is such a Kevin Owens thing to do as well. Like Kevin Owens can like just say, you know what, I can't wrestle. I have to go get surgery. Blah blah. It's a chicken shit heel way of trying to get out of the match, right?
And he's been wanting to get out of the match. Remember, he was like, hey, let's be a tag team instead.
Yes.
So every week he comes up with an excuse. So I actually like, I'm okay. I'm hoping it's a work because it would suck as a shoot.
But doesn't this like make me like, I applaud WWE because it's like, yo, you guys are hooking us like, we are believing it, and maybe they're making us string us along for at least 2 more weeks. Or Kevin Owens is in his heel character trying to string everyone along, saying that he had to go for surgery. Honestly, I won't be surprised if it's legitimate though. I really think that with with all the matches that he's had recently with Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn, like he's got something's gotta be banged up there.
Yeah.
But again, like as a wrestler, if it's like Cody's situation, like I have a torn pec, like my neck is broken, or like my neck is like there's a risk if I were to get into the ring. Is there any way we could do it in such a way that they can have had surgery straight away and they can be protected? Because like there's a way you can do it that protects him. Like remember like Ric Flair wrestling recently, taking the punt kick.
What you talking about his retirement match?
No. Well, I was talking about like, I think this was during the Thunderdome era. Remember Randy like punt kicked Ric Flair, but it was done in such a way that he actually didn't have to take the punt kick. But
yeah. They cut the shot or something like that, right?
correct.
Was it?
But, yeah, but he can't do it live lah. But what I'm saying is like there's a way he can do it without actually destroying his neck lah.
Well, you know what? Again, like you said, kudos to WWE. Maybe this is something that will have more developments lah in a week's time.
We shall see. You know what? One of my favorite mid card feuds that's going to WrestleMania. So I do hope that it's not left off with such a waves. If it is, yeah.
There you go. So the road to WrestleMania is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see where this goes, and of course, preview it next week with you, bro.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll have something fun planned for the preview.
Yeah, we got to have fun during WrestleMania, and I believe the week after that will the actual WrestleMania week itself. We will try our best to go live on the Sunday,
right after WrestleMania.
Yep. We shall see for night 2, like because it's a Monday, right? So we shall see the situation. But you know what? Stay tuned. Get all the updates on our socials, on our Discord, and of course Patreon. If you guys are supporting us there, thank you very much, and do consider supporting as well. And we shall see what happens in these next 2 weeks. You know, you might never know what crazy things is going to happen in WWE.
Oh, absolutely. Will we be graced by the final boss once again to come in, slit his throat, and order John Cena around or not?
Yeah. Can we very, very quickly mention, like, what do you think of that? Finally, that they have a face-to-face, like a back and forth between Cena and Cody Rhodes.
They needed to. People online, obviously, the whole discourse is, Cena cooked Cody
Rhodes.
Yeah, combine Roddy.
Combine both, yeah.
Cena cooked him, or Rhodes stood up to him. I think they both did great. You know, to be honest, like this is the exact opposite. And just to, circle back to Charlotte and Tiffany, is the exact opposite of Charlotte and Tiffany. We know that John Cena can cook Cody if he wanted to, right? Yeah. But he was there, and even though a lot of what he said was true, truth bombs, right? Yeah. Cody held his own. He knew what he was doing, and they had it's like two legends butting heads, and it felt like two people on the same level butting heads.
Correct. Both came out looking good.
Yeah.
Looking strong, right?
Yep.
Like you've seen. I mean, I'll give you a very good attitude era example. Every time The Rock and Stone Cold traded barbs, right?
Yeah.
You never felt like, they were shitting on each other, they were calling each other's names and all that nonsense. Yep. But no one was trying to cut each other's legs from underneath them. Right?
Me, your voice is so high, I can't hear me. Oh, jeez.
Can you imagine Stone Cold say that to The Rock? I can't hear you. Oh my God. I'm all up in my Terry Reynolds DMs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so back to it, right? I'm just, I'm there for the ride. To be honest, it feels like you brought out earlier the road to WrestleMania this year longer because of the European tour, right? So it feels like, they are rehashing stuff once in a while, but we find they're spreading it out. We got a bit of altercation. Maybe next week we'll get more altercation. This time John Cena can get one up on Cody Rhodes. Maybe freaking Travis Scott can come and give Cody a eardrum burst.
John Cena needs to do the Rock killing Cody Rhodes at the back parking lot segment. You gotta do something similar. And I'm very curious to see Jey Uso and Gunther after the beatdown, the bloody beatdown that is gonna happen. That happened last week. Yeah. We have you know what? They have made me interested to see what's next. So any matches do you think that might happen, might be announced this coming week ahead of our predictions?
Especially if Kevin and Randy is really off the card, right? Who else could they add? Street Profits?
I mean, they gotta do something for the tag team division for sure.
Okay, the IC title.
Okay, I see. They might. You think it's a multi-man?
Yes, it's probably going to be Finn, Dom, Braun, Penta. So it's a 4-way, right? Yep. And this might be where, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Dom finally get a title.
Ooh, so it could be a thing where Liv Morgan tries to help, politic her way to get Dom a spot in a match.
Yes.
And then Finn will see as you are disrespecting me kind of thing, right?
As a threat, right? But then finally, they can finally oust Finn and bring in a new person. Maybe Malachi.
Ooh.
as the leader of the Judgment Day.
Ooh, bro, don't give my hopes up, bro, like that.
Or maybe Rusev Putrya, Rusev Matska.
Oh my god.
Dun,
Then,
dun, dun,
then,
dun, 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 dun.
you know what? Rusev coming as a surprise
Enforcer.
opponent will be interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you talk
I mean-
about WrestleMania is a time for surprises, right?
Yep.
You never know. It could be Malachi, it could be Rusev.
Good picks, both. I do not know whether they're gonna make the tag team match like on the card. Like,
Oh my god. Bro, it's gonna be a tornado 10-team bullshit, sort of a
I
thing,
mean,
man.
the New Day technically is number one contenders
Oh,
for the War Raiders.
Worried, yeah.
Yeah, I
Look,
mean,
don't get me wrong. I actually enjoy what they're doing right now,
Yep.
but no. Oh, very quickly. I know we keep sidetracking, but how many very quicklies do we have?
yeah, last one. Come.
Hashtag very quickly. Oh my god, I forgot his name.
What?
Grande Americano.
Americano Grande, Chad Gable.
Chad, I love that shit. Like,
Yeah.
Chad Gable is one of those guys. Every time he's given some shit gimmick, he makes it work. And I really hope he gets his shine one day.
Chad Gable is my Kurt Angle regen.
Yes,
He
he's the next generation of Kurt Angle in that he's a great worker. He's not
Entertaining.
like 100, like he's not like The Rock entertaining. Well, Rock in his prime, not current Rock. He's not, you know what I mean? Like Kurt was always a great promo, but he wasn't Rock Austin vibe.
Yep. Agree.
But still a great promo and a great worker.
I just feel like Chad Gable should have won the IC title this past summer, like when he was feuding with Sami Zayn and all that. Like, I honestly, Chad Gable as a singles champion is super belated. Like, it should have happened years ago.
But bro, it's fine. He doesn't need it. This thing with the Grande American with the fake promo package. You know when the promo package was playing and you saw the footage at the back looked like AI generated. I was like, oh my god, that's great. Like they're leaning into like popular tech and culture. They probably created it using AI.
I love it. I mean, it's entertaining, and you know what? Raw is easier to watch than SmackDown. Because there's so many things that's interesting on Raw.
El Grande Americano.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a freaking Starbucks order, but sure, I guess. I'm curious to see where that leads to. Like, is that gonna somehow factor into the IC title picture? Is that gonna stand alone on its own? There's so many unknowns there, right?
Yeah.
So we shall see. You know who I would really like to be on the card on WrestleMania, who does not have a match yet? Such a disgrace if she's not on the card.
Okay.
Chelsea
Green. Yes. Agree.
I mean, whether it's her defending her US title or being on the corner of the secret Hervis, which is a very interesting name.
Yeah.
But Chelsea Green is my female MVP of WWE, so you gotta have her on the card somehow.
Hey man, you go for Chelsea Green. I'm going for.
Okay.
Like, I will advocate for Lyra Valkyria.
Okay, I know your type, bro. I know your type.
You know.
Yeah. Good
What
for
is
you,
it? I don't even know what is my type.
I don't know lah. Like a bit quite, like sweet. You know.
Bird lady.
No, not bird lady, but yeah, I get you. I got you, bro. I got you, fam.
Okay, there you go. So that's our that's the podcast lah. Basically, thank you so much for watching. As always, head over to the Discord where we have more of our chats. Oh, one more thing.
Bro, this is unbelievable.
Okay.
Tell me more.
Really. Remember, I posted this on my Discord as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've never bought cards. I have a lot of cards. I have Marvel cards. I have Magic the Gathering cards, but not sports collectible cards. It's not really my thing, right? And then, so do you know the company Topps? I mean, they've been advertising like mad on WWE.
Yeah.
So,
I heard about it.
like, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of you buy the 2025 set, right? But now they also release new cards every time there's an event. Did you know this? Yeah.
I didn't know
So,
this.
for example, even on Raw, when Stephanie Vacker won her 2 titles, they created a card just for that. It's called Topps Now, so it's happening in the moment, right? And then instead of buying a pack where you can open to see if you get like a foil version or an autograph version, right? What they call chasers, like rarer versions of the card, you have to buy that same card like however many times, 100 times, just to try to get lucky.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
how do you buy it? Like online? Purchase it online?
Online, yeah.
Okay.
So when WWE Elimination Chamber happened, you know the moment with The Rock, John Cena, and Travis Scott in the ring.
Yeah.
I saw the advertisement, and they were advertising this card.
Oh shit! I see it. Oh, okay. Dope.
And the chance for you to get a 1-of-1 signed by all three.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit, if there was ever a time to try my luck, this is really like buying Toto, no? Like,
Okay.
if there was ever a time, it would be now, because it's one of the rare times they have 3 signatures on the same card.
Yeah.
And it's a seminal moment. I mean, it's John Cena turning heel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how much was it that you bought it for?
That's the thing. It's like $9 USD for one card.
Okay.
Bro, I'm looking outside. Is my wife? See my wife there? No. Bad financial decisions, bro. I paid the 9 USD for a piece of cardboard, bro. Okay.
It's literally a cardboard. Okay.
It is, on the off chance that it might be the rare, like, signed version. It's not even a foil. Well, I'm so upset. And obviously, I didn't just buy one.
How many, bro? What the fuck? Why?
Because if you're going to try, it's like buying Toto. You
Oh
buy
my God,
one or you
bro.
buy 5 boards. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
It's an addiction to manipulation.
And guess what? Not a single foil, bro.
How many do you buy? I can't even count.
20.
It's definitely
20, bro.
Okay, 20.
So you do the math. I'm not going to say how much I spent, but you
Yeah.
not a single one. Like, maybe got one shiny one. I also happy.
Wait,
they
bro.
got
is
gold
there-
foil, rainbow foil, black foil, and then the signed one. No, I got all boring, plain base cards.
Is there even a shipping fee for this? There should be, right?
Yeah, I got a few bucks.
It's not even just that 9 USD, bro. It's like,
So,
oh my God, okay.
bro, they are making money hand over fist, bro, that they are doing this. You go to the Topps website right now. You get shit like Jade Cargill returns at Elimination Chamber. Literally her walking out, that's a card you can buy for like $8.
And it's just a cardboard. I mean, that's the lowest base level. But
Base level. But you could get a foil version. You could get a autograph version.
Okay, so the foil version means they just wrap it in some sort of
No.
foil
So
material?
the thing is shiny lah. Okay, I have. Bro, don't worry. I got you. I have foil cards. So for example, this is the Marvel Magic the Gathering. This is a foil. So is it
got you.
shiny?
Yeah lah, so better material lah, essentially.
Better material. Or for example, bro, I got more. See.
Oh dear God, you
Trade-
have you're a trader, bro.
yeah. For example, this one Ultraman. You see this one?
Ooh, what material is that?
It's also it's still cardboard, but it's shiny. And you see, there's a signature there.
Wait, you got Ultraman signature?
I mean, it's the signature of the character lah.
Yeah.
Okay. So all these different trade, they call collectible card games and collectible card sellers, right? Mm-hmm. They will have multiple versions of the same card that are super rare. 1 in 10,000, 1 in 10 million, that kind of odds, right? And they will have different treatments. So some could be with foil, could be gold color, they will come out with everything one lah. And the chaser being the most rare one. Do you remember Magic the Gathering? There was a Lord of the Rings collab.
I didn't know, but I mean, I don't follow this line, but yeah.
Post Malone is a huge fan. A 1-of-1, he bought that card for 2 mil or something like that.
Holy shit! And then what does it have? Like the autographs of the actors or something?
No lah, bro.
So you just buy 2 mil for like a card?
Yeah. Imagine the One Ring. Let me see. $2 million. It's because it's only one of one.
God damn it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a whole different world of collectible cards.
Okay, so my very like a true bro friend would ask you this question. Has this become addiction yet, or is
no.
It was sure one off only.
It's really one because it's like it's that moment where I was like, hey, if you don't try, you'll never win. And how often is John Cena turning heel?
Fine, once in a lifetime kind of thing, right?
You know what I mean, right? Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah.
It's so you know you got 20 cards of the same thing, like sitting in your room. What are you gonna do with it? Are you just gonna like?
I don't know, bro. Maybe we should do a giveaway.
Yeah, I think let's do that. Let's kind of come together, figure out. Let's do something for WrestleMania. We'll do a. You know what?
What
Bro,
if I sign it, bro? What if
Bro,
we both sign it?
He autograph it. Yeah. Now it's like 1 of 20, bro. Let's do it.
Hey, what 1 of 20? 1 of 19. I'm keeping one for myself.
Fine. 1 of 19. It's very rare. Okay. You know what? We'll figure it out. We'll make it like a Patreon thing or like whatever thing, and we'll announce it when we do our predictions. Okay.
Hey, $10 per card, okay?
Okay.
$10.
Bro, this is the best way
I
to
spend.
recoup your money.
Oh my god! I'm just saying it's a thing. I do not suggest you get into it because you can go down the rabbit hole,
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole.
and it's crazy.
I have learned not to have too many crazy obsessions because when I
sure.
was my first obsession with wrestling, right, was I love to collect VCDs when it was a thing, VCDs and DVDs. So I had like stacks full of DVDs for like a decade of collecting before it went digital.
Right.
So never again am I gonna go into that kind of obsession. So
Bro,
I'm thankful.
Did you watch that show, The King of Collectibles on Netflix?
I've seen the trailer. I haven't watched it yet.
So Goldins is a company that buys these collectible cards. They buy the most rare so that they can sell it at auction to make the money, right?
Yeah.
I swear part of it was because of that show. Because these people are selling whatever Pokemon rare card for $1,500,000. And I'm like, oh, hey, siala, what if I, just try my luck and I get one of these super ultra rare cards?
And you're gonna buy with like 5 figures worth just to own the card or what?
No, you have to buy boxes just to try your luck. See, it's like it's gambling. It's literally gambling.
Okay, yeah.
So be careful when you watch. So what I'm saying is be careful when you watch the show because you feel like, hey, could be you, right? But nah. I like to chalk it up to if the universe decides it is your fate, then it will happen. If not,
fair point.
Don't try. It's like those people who buy Toto every draw.
Just to see, like, just to see.
It's like, but if the Toto is 10 mil, I will go and buy.
I mean, we are lucky we haven't done any sports betting for WWE. I know WWE has gone into that territory. Like you can bet on like the results.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, once you are in it, I just saw a John Oliver piece on sports betting, bro. So
is it?
Yeah. So they were saying like it is an entire industry, man, and the whole point of betting is like the house always wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't get into it, bro. But
I just want to show you. Okay, this is just for educational purposes, by the way.
Okay,
the
fine.
cards they have. You see this one, the John Cena with what's his face?
Cody Rhodes.
The John Cena signature.
This is him. See, this is him signing it, right?
Yeah, his signature there, lah. So it's a 1 of 1. So if you get this, bro.
But the price is like $11, so it's supposed to be
for the base card, lah. But you don't know, like. Vicious turn stuns the world. Oh my god. Okay, let me click it. It's sold out already, obviously, right?
Oh dear God. Wow.
So there are only 50 gold foils, 25 orange foils, 10 black foils, 5 red foils in the world. 1 foil fractor, and obviously 1 signature. Out of like however many hundreds of thousands that they're going to print.
And once you have it, you can hold it, and this can be like a collectible in the future, lah.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be worth a lot, considering it's John Cena and, like, that's why I laugh when it's like, something like that they are going to offer for $9. Who the f is going to pay $9 for this? I don't care if even you get, I'm sorry, no disrespect to Jade, but even if you get a signed version, it's like,
it's fine. It's fine. People, there's a lot of weird things people buy on the internet these days.
Sure. This one, confirm, will have a lot of value.
Holy shit. I show speed.
Brawn and speed, and there's a version with speed signature.
Nice. Bro, we gotta get into this and become the ones that is selling it.
Imagine if somehow I got this.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just cut this part off lah. Cut the Travis.
Yeah. Fuck the Travis part. Oh man, I can see the rabbit hole of it. So it's shipping directly from US, right?
Yes. See this one, Jey Uso one. They even include a piece of the mat, bro.
Ooh.
Because they know it will not sell on its own lah. Like fucking Jey Uso there on you can see his side. You can't even see his face.
Okay, all I can say is whatever you want to do, you want to buy import from US, you do it now before the tariffs come in. So
tariffs! Oh no.
Yeah. So before the tariffs start killing you guys, you better do it now, man.
We're not advocating on sports collectibles. We're just just talking about shit. Can I just say one more thing, bro?
I give up, bro. Just go for it. What is it?
I know that you don't really watch a lot of streamers, and for a lot of people, like, it's like, who is iShowSpeed, right? But
Yeah.
his last few, his last few live streams have been incredible. I don't know
I've
if
seen some of the shit. He's in China, right?
he's in China, and it is like people are saying in the comments, like, he's doing so much for China-US relations, and he's opening the world's eyes to what is actually going on in China, and just let's and like if you have time go and watch the episode where he tries to learn to be a Shaolin monk. It is the fucking most hilarious thing ever.
Yeah, bro. How do you watch the stream? Because it's like hours long, right? So are you watching like a truncated version of it or what?
I saw clips at first on social media, on TikTok, right? Like 30 seconds, 1 minute clip. Then I freaking, based on those clips, I went and watched the whole stream, 6 hours. I put it in the background while I'm working.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And like,
They're good.
yeah, because, okay, unlike Logan Paul, like Logan Paul has a level of like, he feels like he's disrespecting others when he's doing his antics out and about, doing his IRL, real life streams. Speed genuinely seems excited and like he's having fun, but he's also like overreacting a bit, but it doesn't feel fake.
He's like a Truman character. It's like a NPC living his life, right? We're just watching his stuff.
And he has all these fans who will try to like show him stuff and give him free stuff. It's just incredible. Again, the episode where he tries to be or learn how to be a Shaolin monk and learn Kung Fu is freaking hilarious. It's essentially Rush Hour 4. Go and watch that.
Thanks for the plug. I believe he went to Chongqing as well, right? He went to like each stream is at different cities, right?
Correct. So he's been to Chengdu, Beijing, I think, Chongqing. He was in Hong Kong. He is in Shenzhen today.
And the one where he was doing the Shaolin stuff is which city?
Chengdu, I think. If you go to his YouTube page, you'll see I become a Shaolin. It's quite easy to see lah.
Yeah, I remember when he came to Singapore, I got super obsessed with him for a bit. And I think the last 2 months, bro, he has really hit all the bucket list stuff that I want. Like, I remember he was at Royal Rumble, right?
Royal Rumble, yeah.
And then, like, a few weeks later, he was on Golazo, CBS Golazo. If you're a football fan, he was in the same panel as Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher. And what the fuck is this guy doing there, right? And then, then after he was in the Sideman charity match. So he's basically hitting all the intersection of interest that we are all interested in.
He is living his best life, and it's very hard to hate on him. I mean, there will be haters lah for sure, but when you watch him, he just feels like a guy living his best life.
I think there's something pure about him lah. Like he's just living his life, like you say exactly.
Yeah.
We get it. Yeah.
Okay. We took several detours, but we're glad you're here with us.
Yeah, we made it out alive. Guys, hope you guys are enjoying wrestling. I know everybody's enjoying Netflix. Thank God no more 3 a.m. SmackDowns and Raws. We are back to the US timing, which is like early morning, which is still fine. We shall talk about WrestleMania predictions next week, and we're gonna do it together, right, Mr. Yang?
Yes, we're going to do a very special episode of the podcast, so we can't wait. We can't wait to actually do it and send it out there into the digital sphere. Talking about YouTube and everything, bro. Dude has 38 million people on his channel. It's madness, bro.
Madness, bro.
All right, help us out if you haven't already. Like and subscribe. We got more wrestling action to talk about. As always, Discord. We got Patreon. We got our social media pages. Drop us a follow if you want to take our support, your support to the next level. Like I said, Patreon is there for you. But as always, it's Mr. Yang.
And it's Foreign in the building. Take care.
Let's go.